And we are live. Hey, I was going to say good morning a second ago, but it's actually good evening. It's like 6:11 p.m. here on East Coast time. And this is the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show, 13 hours difference than what it really would be. This is our 623rd episode. And I am Greg, Mester Scrum Master and Agile Coach. And today, I want to talk about the 3 C's to Daily Scrum. Why do I want to talk about it? So it's just something I had good today. This also relates to people like, why do we do daily scrum? So I want to talk about a little bit about that too. So I'm going to talk about why daily scrum, and then the 3 C's of daily scrum, which is a derivation of what Ron Jeffries talked about with the 3 C's of a story. So I'm going to talk about it in form of a daily scrum discussion. So with that, I am Greg, Mester Scrum Master and Agile Coach. And here on the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show, we talk about Agile and Scrum in a practical and tactical way. So you can bring value to your customer, not work crazy hours, not get all frustrated like I get sometimes, and just enjoy some life, right? Have enjoyment in work, enjoyment at home, get home to family and friends, and just have fun. Is what work is supposed to be. Well, maybe it's work. Maybe that's what they call work. Work became a 4-level word, 4-letter word. Anyway, so one of the first thought I had in my mind, people always ask me, why do we do daily scrum? I don't get it. We can't just we just talk all day long. So why do we do a daily scrum? Well, if you sit on enough of these daily scrums, you learn why when they're done well, right? People just don't pick up on emails. They think, oh, I sent an email. Sometimes they have to remind. I was in a daily scrum the other day. Someone said they sent an email message, but because of all the emails they get, they missed it. And because of the urgency to the person who was asking the question, they mentioned it in daily scrum because they didn't hear back from the person. The person was like, oh, I totally missed it. So daily scrum provides that check to whether or not people are getting these digital signals, right? Also, there's many misinterpretations of importance. I have messed up numerous times on text messages, emails. So I probably shouldn't have admit to that, but I have. Okay, and you can tell I've been using a whiteboard. Sometimes what someone writes, people interpret it as not important or whatever. And the daily scrum will elevate that importance, right? If it's really important to someone, they bring it up and say, hey, I really need your help on this. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you needed it now. There was no due date. There was no date. There's no respond by or anything like that. So it really wasn't on my high priority list, but I'll work on it with you now. And you change around the priorities. So that discussion, that interaction between people brings a level above what you'll ever get in an email, whatever you'll get in a Slack conversation. I know everybody's using their phones now and texting each other, things like that. But sometimes you type the wrong text. I've done that. And like, what did you type? Oh yeah, autocorrect. Totally screwed up the entire message I was trying to send you. So yeah, that didn't work very well. So there's that. So now, with that in mind, why daily scrum is important. Let's talk about the 3 C's of a daily scrum. So what I would like to propose, this concept to everyone, okay? Something you can think about, because people always ask me, how do I know whether or not a daily scrum is going well? And here's my thought. The first C, the card. Maybe this is on your scrum board. So you talk about the card that's on your scrum board. So whether you have swim lanes, priorities, however you do on a scrum board, you talk about the person whose card it is or working on that particular card, or when they do stuff, they talk to that card. So that's the card in the 3 C's of a daily scrum. So you always want to have a visual. If you don't have a visual in your daily scrum, especially in this virtual environment, you will lose them in the conversation. So the visual, right? All right, number 2, the conversation. It's important that there's conversations happening on in the Daily Scrum, and not by one or two people. Not by one or two dominant people. You ever been to a Daily Scrum and like just a Scrum Master and one other person talk the entire time and nobody else is involved in conversation? That is not a conversation. That is a report out. Okay. That is not Scrum. That is not a Daily Scrum. That is not what it's supposed to be. So conversation, not by one or two dominant people, but the whole organization. So the conversation is, hey, I'm working on this. I'm going to need Greg's help later today on something. Or Greg, are you available to help me? Now, I introduced that conversation. Greg, I'm working on this. I could use some help, right? Comes third point. Confirmation. And again, this is a different take on the 3 C's as they apply to a Daily Scrum. Now, the person asked me for help. So then what you do is repeat and set time after meeting. So what I would do is say, okay, I said I heard you need help on this particular story. Are you available later today after, let's say, 10 o'clock? Because I just looked at my schedule to talk about it. We can meet. We can talk about the issue or whatever, or we can meet right after the Scrum call because we're going to get done so quick because we're really good at this, right? So that's the confirmation. So when you're looking at a Daily Scrum, this is a good basis to look at. So the 3 C's of a Daily Scrum. The card, which is the Scrum board. The cards on the Scrum board, the stories, the task, whatever. It's a very visual thing. You got to have the visual, okay? The conversation, number 2, is a conversation between people. Not between the people on the team and the Scrum Master. Not between the people and the product owner. Not between the two people and a team leader or some tech lead or something like that. It's a conversation between more than one person on the team. If there's no conversation between more than one team member, there's something wrong. Okay? And the last one is the confirmation. So during that conversation, the other party confirms that they heard what the need and talks back to them during the Daily Scrum and lets them know that they're available post-meeting to talk about it. What happens sometimes in warning is sometimes people try to move too fast, right? Warning, the yield sign here, warning. Where they move too fast. They move too fast from person to person. They don't give enough time for the confirmation to happen. So when the person has that conversation, ask for Greg for help, they get it. The Scrum Master needs to make sure, and the team makes sure that Greg has time to respond to the person who asked the question or the help and give them time to confirm what's there. So sometimes there's some dead air. Dead air is okay as long as there is a confirmation of the need. So, warning, don't go too fast. Okay? It's not a race. Even though I say a scrum and a sprint is a sprint and it's not a marathon, Daily Scrum is not a race. Daily Scrum is a very effective, pointed conversation on a limited number of cards between people on the team, and they get a confirmation of what the next steps are. That's it. They don't problem solve during a meeting or nothing, but there's a confirmation of when they can meet to really break down the problem and do some problem solving. So with that, that's what I got for today. I hope that's helpful. I just wanted to share that with you. Sorry I'm late. It's a long night getting my taxes done here in the States and everything like that, and paying a lot of money to the IRS. And basically, because I know I'm going to pay, I wait till the last minute because why give their money? Why to give them your money early? I don't know. So I wish you all the best. A happy evening, and see you tomorrow. Happy scrumming. Give us a thumbs up if you like that. Not everything you can't interpret priorities, urgency, stuff like that. And there's so many emails out there, things get buried. The Daily Scrum gives an opportunity to bring something light someone might have missed, because it happens all the time. And you can't tell me it doesn't. And then last part, ring the little bell if you like our show, and remember the 3 C's of a Daily Scrum: the card, the conversation, and the confirmation. That's how you can tell whether or not your daily scrums are really doing well. With that, I say good night and take care, and see you tomorrow. Bye.